Good, happy Thursday morning. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on RK Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Thursday morning, so let's get started right now. First up, let's take a look at that traffic for all of you and see how your morning commute is going to look like this morning. And here is a look at your traffic map for this Thursday morning, and let's see how the roads are looking like this morning. On 93 heading into Massachusetts, you got a nice smooth sailing ride right now. On 293, you have a nice smooth sailing ride as well. Over on 89, you got a nice smooth sailing ride. 93 through the Concord stretch, a nice smooth sailing ride as well. 393 between Concord and Chichester, nice smooth sailing ride with some medium pace traffic. Route 4, a fairly nice smooth sailing ride right now. Route 16 of the Spalding, you got medium pace traffic with some smooth sailing traffic. 95, you got a nice smooth sailing ride on 95 this morning. 101, not too bad of a ride on 101 this morning. And Merrimack, Nashua into that border, Massachusetts, you got some medium and stop traffic with smooth sailing traffic there. That is a look at your traffic this morning. Not too bad of a ride this morning for all of you to start your Thursday and your drive into work. And now let's get to your news. First up, man convicted of murders in Brazil arrested in Rye, New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Violent drug cartels, avoidable fentanyl deaths, and ongoing human trafficking. That's Joe Biden's border crisis.
In a quiet neighborhood in Rye, this house under construction found itself at the end of an international manhunt.
It seems like an episode of Cops in front of you.
Federal immigration agents with long guns, helmets, and flash grenades descended on Locke Street Monday around 7 a.m. in search of 29-year-old Antonio Zuze de Abreu Vidal Filho, one of the most wanted men in Brazil.
Bam, flashbang and military guys, and it's just like, holy moly, you know. So we're just, okay, we had nothing to do with it, and so it's a pretty epic way to start your Monday morning, you know.
Sammy Johnson works at the site. He says Vidal had been working on the roof, and they simply knew him as Tony.
He seemed like a really nice guy, but it just goes to show you in this world, like, you know, you never can judge a book by its cover, right?
Police have been looking for him since he was found guilty in June of murdering 11 people. ICE says he and 3 other military police officers were responsible for a massacre in Fortaleza, Brazil in November of 2015.
This was a long-range operation that had been going on for some time.
ICE says Vidal had been in the U.S. since 2019. His fellow construction worker said he'd been living in Merrimack with his wife, looking to start a new life.
It's just kind of baffling, you know. I think for the most part, what was just crazy to me is that he was able to reside in New Hampshire and have a business.
Now Vidal's waiting to go before a U.S. immigration judge. He's expected to be deported back to Brazil, where he's facing more than 275 years in prison. We're live in Rye tonight. Ariel Metropolis, WMUR, News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Police investigate multiple shots fired in Nashua, car hit by a stray bullet. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Frustrated with cable internet? It's time to cancel cable and move on to something better. Fidium Fiber Internet delivers more. Sign up today and get twice the speed of cable for the same price. Plus, lock your rate in for a year. Order today.
Guys, this section of West Hollis Street has been closed off now for about 2 hours here in Nashua. And this corner that we're standing on, the corner of West Hollis and Vine, is where police have asked us to stand while they continue their investigation in another part of this crime scene. We want to show you what we've been watching unfold here for the last few hours. You can see several Nashua police cruisers still here. We've seen a few officers coming and going, as well as the police canine unit moving through the area. Police confirming at least 6 rounds were fired off here. Police said that a passing car was hit with a stray bullet, but thankfully no one here was hurt. Now, this is one of the busier cross streets in Nashua. Lots of homes nearby as well, businesses lining this street. We spoke with a man who asked not to be identified, who was sitting just outside nearby with a friend when those shots were fired.
And I heard 6 shots go boom, 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 boom. And then I saw someone running this way. But I ducked the ground, I hit the ground. Me and my friends all hit the ground. When the bullets started going off, we all hit the ground.
And as we said, nobody hurt here in Nashua, but still that active police investigation looking into what happened here. Nashua police also saying as of right now, no suspects identified in this case. Live in Nashua, Ross Ketchke, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Massachusetts mother dies after trying to rescue son from water in Franconia Falls. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Ready to put on a new roof? Summer savings are available right now from Derek Cook's Roofing Specialists. Put 0 down and pay 0% interest for 12 months. Call now for a 24-hour estimate and get scheduled today. Insist on Derek Cook's Roofing Specialists.
The young child kind of was trying to dip his foot into the water to test the water, but fell in. Mom then just tried to go into the water to help get him out because the current was so strong, and she wasn't able to do so.
Fish and Game say the current at Franconia Falls is strong because of all the rain we've had this year.
What made this so tragic is that it's hard to say that there were preventative measures, and it's out of love is what caused the tragedy.
The other children and their father jumped in to help. They were able to get the younger brother out of the water, but in the process, the older brother got stuck in some rocks. The father found Bagley on a rock and started CPR, but it was too late. He was able to get the older brother freed. First responders say they got an SOS to the area, but finding the exact location for the rescue was a challenge.
There's no cell service out in that area where they were.
Bagley's husband is a police lieutenant in Everett, Massachusetts. People who know the family say they admire her bravery and say that her actions aren't out of character.
Her bravery is amazing and just so sad that it ended the way that it did.
She was an athletic woman, and I'm not surprised that she jumped in to save her son and gave her life.
And Everett police are asking for people to give the family privacy as they try to navigate through this incredibly difficult time. Live in Lincoln, Hannah Cotter, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. A native in Portsmouth now, Granite Stater, that is living in Maui, says the recovery after wildfires will be a long road. Let's take a listen to that video.
Violent drug cartels, avoidable fentanyl deaths, and ongoing human trafficking. That's Joe Biden's border crisis. But conservative Miami Mayor Francis Suarez plans to secure our border. Mayor Suarez will shut down the drug cartels, crack down on drugs and human trafficking, and finish the border wall. America needs conservative.
Tonight, the death toll in Maui has reached 110. Officials warn that is expected to climb even higher in the days ahead. Survivors are working with first responders to search through the wreckage. All the while, they face unreliable power and cell phone service and the threat of another storm, making it even harder to rebuild. We're hearing from Granite Staters connected to the area. They're describing the destruction to our Ross Ketchke.
It feels like you're living in a nightmare.
John Kudlick moved to Portsmouth 2 years ago, but was born and raised in the Maui community of Lahaina. The famously beautiful island village has seen some of the worst devastation in the recent wildfires.
I'm talking to my friends back home, and they're telling me things I would never have imagined. So many of them have lost everything. Every single thing you could imagine, they've lost it.
He says thankfully his family and close friends are all accounted for, but is still hanging on for any updates coming from his hometown.
There are so many people, that you knew through acquaintances or classmates or anyone like that they're still not accounted for. There are many, many more people that are still missing.
Robin Ann Peters, a Nashua native now living in Maui full-time, says the Hawaiian community is staying strong despite the destruction, and there's early signs of progress.
Today was the first day that they actually were opening up the road to and from Lahaina, and that's been an enormous help because people have been trapped.
Peters and Kudlick both say there's going to be a long road back to recovery, but support from the outside will be critical for the future of Maui.
It's very heartwarming to see that all these groups have come together and they're all trying to do what they can and support.
If we could just keep Maui in your heart, because it's going to be a really long time before this island feels less pain.
Ross Ketchke, WMUR News 9.
And WMUR has teamed up with the American Red Cross to raise money for relief efforts for the victims of the wildfires. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now to make a donation through our website, WMUR.com.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Man sentenced to prison for role in toddler's fatality death. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
This pie's on me. Thanks for the great deal.
Yeah, so it's real. If I could give my affairs back, I'd do it.
Dana Dolan was charged in connection with the death of a 21-month-old in 2020. Police say Dolan and the little girl's parents were at a truck stop in Londonderry doing drugs laced with fentanyl when they fell asleep, leaving the toddler and her 4-year-old sister also in the car unsupervised. They say the toddler inhaled some of the drugs, killing her.
We're here because 3 adults prioritize their addiction over the safety of 2 children.
Dolan's son writing a statement for the court calling his father a bad influence.
I want nothing to do with him, and I hate having his last name.
The little girl's grandmother also standing before the judge saying time has not healed the pain of her granddaughter's death.
She would love to swing at the park with the sunshine warming her chubby little cheeks. She showed her love unconditionally, and we loved her even more.
Through tears, Dolan asked the victim's family for forgiveness, saying he will regret his actions for the rest of his life.
Fentanyl is a deadly drug, and it was reckless, careless, selfish, and flat out wrong to get high near innocent children. I feel absolutely horrible about what happened.
The judge taking 6 months off the original negotiated plea, saying he heavily considered Dolan's cooperation with investigators at the time of the little girl's death. In Brentwood, Imani Fleming, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Governor Chris Sununu, GOP will need more narrow candidate field to move past former President Donald Trump, he said. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
So we're changing our look, we're changing our logo, but we're not changing anything else.
It's about taking care of people.
The best part about helping customers is watching them leave with a smile on their face.
At Bank of New Hampshire, you've got people.
Governor Chris Sununu has been a vocal critic of the former president and wants to see fellow Republicans move on from his influence. But he says the large field of GOP challengers is going to have to shrink.
It'll be 100 Republican voices across the country saying we have to narrow this down to maybe 5 or 6 candidates by Iowa, maybe 3 or 4 by New Hampshire, because in a one-on-one race, that's where Trump loses. And there'll be a lot of pressure, not the powers that be, but maybe some of the voices, the donor base, some of the more influential folks out there that say, hey, we have to narrow this thing down.
Well, we are now a week away from the first Republican debate, and 8 candidates have qualified. It's not clear if former President Trump will attend.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Engine bursts into flames shortly after takeoff. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Olive Garden's never-ending first course is always on us with every delicious entree. Garden fresh salad, on us. Homemade soup, on us. Now, as for the breadsticks, who are we kidding? They're on us too. Only at Olive Garden.
But we do start with the terrifying moment in midair, a Southwest flight that had taken off from Houston, the flame seen shooting from the plane. This is the video tonight capturing the plane shortly after takeoff with flames shooting out from the engine under the right wing. Witnesses on the ground seeing it, the passenger jet forced to turn back to the airport, emergency crews waiting on the ground. And in a separate flight, this one from Miami, news one of the pilots suffered a medical emergency and did not survive. The flight was diverted. ABC's Victor Akendo tonight on both scares, starting with Houston.
Keep your eyes on the right wing of that plane flying over Houston. Shortly after takeoff, flames shooting out from the engine of the Southwest jet bound for Cancun. With one engine down, they were forced to turn around, making an emergency landing at Houston's Hobby Airport Tuesday night.
307, you're clear for the ILS runway 4 approach. 307, you still have one engine shut down, is that correct?
The plane landing safely. The airline tonight saying the jet experienced a mechanical issue shortly after takeoff and was taken out of service for review. And in Miami, another scare in the skies. A pilot suffering a medical emergency in the middle of a LATAM Airlines flight from Miami to Santiago, Chile, Monday. There were 3 pilots on board when the flight diverted to Panama. The airline saying the crew tried saving the pilot's life mid-flight. Medical teams standing by when the plane landed, but the pilot died.
LATAM said that pilot had been with them for 25 years. The cause of death has not been released. And tonight, the FAA says they will investigate that Southwest flight over Houston. David?
Victor Akendo leading us off here tonight. Victor, thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that did it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on RK Network. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, everyone, and goodbye.